Dear viewers across the world, most welcome to my channel NAGA World Conflict Zone. Context: JCPOA to reign in Iran for 2015 nuclear deal between America and Iran. As the Vienna talk progress, the consensus view is that a new Iran nuclear deal is inevitable, even if the details remains debatable. It is clear that concern shared by America's partners in Gulf are unlikely to materially influence the discussion. The Biden administration has received repeated warning about the peril of the short-sightedness of simply returning to the terms of original 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action JCPOA without dealing decisively with Iran's other destabilizing activities such as its ballistic missile program and support for regional proxy militia. Unfortunately, getting Iran to agree to any deal targeting its non-nuclear activities, let alone the rest of the P5 plus 1, that means China, France, Russia, the UK and US plus Germany, will be next to impossible, and trying to do so endanger the primary goal of ensuring nuclear non-proliferation in the wider Middle East. In a climate of intensifying geopolitical rivalry, it is exceedingly rare for the P5 plus 1 to be united behind Iran and US returning to compliance with JCPOA, rejecting calls for more comprehensive deal. It is therefore unsurprising to see the White House reach for this low-hanging fruit, even with Iran's regional sovereignty and refusal to cooperate with UN's nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency IAEA. Washington's impatient launch for a deal has already sidelined the concern and interest of regional partners who bear the brunt of Iran's destabilization agenda. It is similar to how the original JCPOA paved the way for Iran to stockpile fissile material to unprecedented level and service its long-term goal of acquiring and mass production producing offensive nuclear weapons. If Tehran had no plans for non-military applications, saddling its strained national budget and sanction-riddled economy with the expense of interest beyond the 3.75% limit would make little sense. Yet, this program had persisted even under maximum sanctions, resulting in Iran enriching fissile material up to 20%, far more than it needs for commercial purposes, and enhancing its expertise in nuclear enrichment with a new line of advanced centrifuge. Simply returning to inherently unstable JCPOA will not reverse or bury Iran's advancement in enrichment, nor will it guarantee maximum compliance, especially in terms of transparency. Instead, a repeat of post-GCPOA stockpiling of fissile materials is likely, either in anticipation of the deals expire in 2030, unless it is extended, or its evaluation into a covert arms control duel in which the US and its allies work to prevent Iran continuously seeking to reduce its nuclear breakout time. Experts estimate that Iran can acquire sufficient fissile materials to develop at least one nuclear device in 3 months to a year from now. In addition, Tehran has notorious knack for exploiting loopholes in existing framework by, for instance, carrying out part of its investment program on military bases, which are off limit to IAEA investigations. Iran has repeatedly justified flouting the limit imposed by JCPOA, arguing that Washington's unilateral withdrawal and subsequent sanction invalidated the agreement. Thus, negotiator will have to ensure the renegotiation JCPOA will be prescient enough to curb abuses and enforce compliance to level acceptable to both its signatories as well as the rest of the region. Ultimately, if the reworked JCPOA focused on curbs to Iran's nuclear program is a foregone conclusion, then the only option left for America's regional allies is to pressure Washington on a follow-up deal to address Iran's non-nuclear threats. Iran. The geopolitical and regional landscape has shifted since JCPOA was signed, and Iran's most troubling threat now are not just the pursuit of a nuclear weapons. On the military side, ballistic missiles and drones have advanced in their range, sophistications, and accuracy, enhancing the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' conventional strikes capabilities. Politically, its involvement in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen has granted Tehran unprecedented level of local influence, and deeply entrenched proxies who are nearly impossible to dislodge. Furthermore, expanded ties to Russia and China have not only granted Iran an economic lifeline but have resulted in arms transfer and will boost its military capabilities and those of its regional proxies. Additionally, new alignment have reshaped the Middle East and North Africa's dynamics and military balance, where the original JCPOA greenlight Iran's nuclear research and development. A renegotiated deal could persuade other Arab states to acquire similar capabilities as a deterrent to future aggression and to maintain the existing tenuous balance in the world. Negotiating following an agreement would stabilize the new JCPOA by placing stringent clauses to discourage reneging on the deal while also limiting the range of Iran's ballistic missiles and ratcheting up regional tension via proxies. However, such limitations would have to go both ways, and with Washington's eyeing an exit from the regional focus. More or China in the Indo-Pacific, enforcing these additional terms will prove challenging. Another troubling development comes from Iran's electoral body disqualifying reformists and moderate from participating in the next month's presidential elections. This spell a troubled future in which hardliners dominate the government, ensuring Tehran's long-term post-JCPOA plans to obtain offensive nuclear capabilities remain intact while rejecting any attempt to rein in the regional destabilizations plan. Regardless, there must still be concerted effort to seek a more comprehensive follow-on agreement, which Tehran can be induced the participate in as a precursor to lifting the remaining non-nuclear sanction even after a settlement is reached on a reworked JCPOA. The primary objectives of such a deal would be the assuage regional concern as well as gain US congressional support for sanction relief by addressing Iran's rapidly advancing ballistic missiles program and regional destabilization activities. Without it, the US risks repeating the same mistakes of the past, endangering its partner in the regional and the overall interest in stable, secure and non-nuclear Middle East. Habib Al-Gawel is a senior fellow with the Foreign Policy Institute at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies, credited.